my name is Joslyn-Jade Brantley. I'm 18 years old and go to Cedar Woolley High School. And I'm in the 12th grade and I am in 4-H Trailblazers with my horse Axel. And I do Western gaming. Did you know about the Alaska Native Plinkets? Did you know that they do hunting and gathering? The topic I chose this year is subsistence hunting, gathering, and fishing in Yakutat, Alaska. I am Alaska Native Plinket, so I have learned about the hunting and gathering ways in the language of my people. And I believe that it is important to tell how us natives used to live, how it was 100 of years ago. And it's such an important thing that we need to brush up on our past. So I'm going to first start off with the history. History is very important to go over. Here's some background on my people. So we settled in Yakutat and Anchorage, Alaska. That is mostly where my tribe is from. And since we settled in those areas, we need to be able to eat and hunt and gather and do what we can. So for example, we ate berries, crops, and meats. One of the most important foods we call is the Three Sisters. It is a meal that is corns, beans, and squash, and it has a bunch of ingredients in there. But from personal experience, they taught me how to hunt and gather and pick salmon berries, but also we have all of these different kinds of beans and stuff that you could grow yourselves. And so Alaska Natives, when we hunt and gather, we like to thank our earth of giving us all of this. So there's 6 important things that the Alaska Native Plinkets go by that's been in the history for a very long time. So one of the first ones is native culture, which is very important. 2 is hunting and trapping, so like trapping animals and stuff. 3 is fishing, and 4 is gathering, and the other ones are farming, dancing, and tradition. So those are very important to the history that all works its way into hunting and gathering. So some of the objects, you're probably wondering why I chose objects as a word. It's because there's so many different things that we could use that they have. So different types of bows and arrows. We have all of these different types. And we have the fishing bow, the horseback bow, and the on-feet bow. And this is a spear, and these are harpoons. So some of the facts about the bows. The fishing bow, which is right here, is super long, like a fishing pole, and it releases faster and punctures further. So it's one of the more longer ones that you have to deal with. So with that, the horseback bow is, you're on a horse, obviously, and it's tinier and it goes faster. So with that, it can go a very far distance because it's how smaller it is compared to the fishing one. That one's pretty long and it just goes right into whatever you're getting. So the last one is called the foot hunter. So this one is the ones who are hunting by foot. They just walk and they need a really long arrow for that. And we have the other weapons, which is the spear, which is another way, I guess, on foot that you could use. So that one's like on the ground as well, but you get to use the spear. And it's pretty much made of lightweight. You can make it out of wood and stone, and usually designs are on it because natives like to decorate their things. So there is feathers and their native colors on it as well. And the other one is the harpoons. There's different types. You can make it with more edges or just not sharper. It really depends on what they're hunting for with them. So they use it to hunt really large animals, and it's made with sealskin and heavy wood. So, and another one that I didn't put on here but I thought was very interesting is, you know how people use fishing poles? The Alaska Natives, we use just a fishing line back then. So that's how we hunted our fish necessarily. So now we're going to move on to meals and food. So indigenous people ate a lot of the same things because that's what the land provided them, so that's what they had to eat. So we also handpicked everything and spent a lot of time doing it because we have so much people we have to feed that you have to have that big of you have to pick all those. So one of the meals that I found was the Three Sisters. It's pretty much, this recipe is today's recipe, so it's not back then's recipe because it's now made in different ways because now we're in a new century, I guess. The Three Sisters, so it's handmade beans, squash, pumpkins, corn kernels, and it's easy to pick and go over a fire, so that was very simple for us back then. And now we just bumped it up and made it even better and added more things into it as time has gone. But there's new ways, there's way more ways to form ingredients used that we used to pick back then that we use now. So another thing we do is eat animals and deer, which is what we still do now. So we get to make things with animals we have. So we get to make, like, for example, I made a drum and it had deer hides. So I got to, thank the animal, and I got to eat the animal, but as well as I got to make something out of it, and that's important to the culture of the Alaskan Natives. So, and also other things that I pick is salmon berries. We pick a bunch of berries. Those are really important to us. So yeah, this is pretty much the meals and foods, and I put down the ingredients and things in it. There's way more stuff online, but I just got these from my aunties. They had this idea of how we do it now. So now, today's world. This picture is of culture camp. So I attend culture camp every year, and this is one of the smokehouses we use with our salmon. So hunting and gathering is done by many different cultures and religions, but nowadays I guess it's less common because of what we have now. So a little bit of the countries do it today, but I'm mainly focused on my own because we still do it today, and it's very high in our culture and that we should be doing it. So the significance of being Native American is it's still being taught to us today, and that we're still having to hunt and gather for ourselves and do everything back then. That's the history of it. So the Alaskan Natives, we still need to be able to plant seeds in our generations and be able to do this today and teach our youngins what we're supposed to do. So with all of that being said, this is my presentation. So therefore, hunting and gathering is very important to my culture and the Alaskan Native Tlinkits. And it's very important to other cultures as well. It's very important to other cultures because this could be how you live your daily lives now that times have changed. So today I talked to you about the history of my people, and I talked to you about the hunting and gathering ways of my Alaskan tribe, and how it was back then, and to make sure we keep the tradition alive. And it is important to be passed down through generations, and I learned these skills through culture camp. And I hope you learned some awesome things about me, and I really appreciate your time in learning about my tribe. I've got all my information from my tribe and my family, and I attended culture camp, and that's where I learned everything that I got today. So I really hope you enjoy it, and thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Do they use canoes to hunt at all? Or?
We use canoes to get to one place to the other to hunt, but mostly, we could hunt off of the canoes into the water, like I said, with the fishing pole. We could use that off the canoes, so yes, we do.
And do the women hunt, or is it just the men that hunt?
Back then, it was the men that hunted in our tribe, but now that things have formed differently and years have gone by, the women now do it as well, so the men get to teach us now. But back then, no, it was just the men that hunted. Thank you.